Caitlin Clark, one of the elite players since her rookie season in 2024. No one in the WNBA is averaging more assists per game. And one of the big reasons why, she's got Aliyah Boston. And what a combination those two have had. Most in the league to one teammate. It's Clark and Boston.
What stands out to you about that? Because something stood out to me. Because to me, the way how that lands is that a lot of Caitlin Clark's assists are because of Boston. Now, Boston's been playing great. Don't get me wrong, but listen to how this is phrased again.
No one in the WNBA is averaging more assists per game. And one of the big reasons why, she's got Aliyah Boston.
I'm sorry, but you have it backwards. The reason why Aliyah Boston has been so successful now is really largely because of Caitlin Clark. We see how she looks without Caitlin Clark, and Boston's production plummets. I literally made a whole video about that, going through kind of everyone of what the Fever have looked like without Caitlin Clark, and Boston's production is part of that. That much is very obvious. I mean, with Caitlin Clark, 19 points, 24 points. The next game, she only played 23 minutes, and obviously not a great game, but 4 points. Then 27 points. Then Caitlin Clark doesn't play. 10 points. She had a bounce back game a little bit, 17 points, pretty good. Then 10 points. Then 11 points. Then 7 points. Now, Caitlin Clark plays for a couple games, gets back in the swing of things, 17 points. Today, she put up, in a loss, 26 points. So, all of her great games are with Caitlin Clark on the court. So, it's just like, what are we talking about here? Like, it's so funny, because I got ahead of this before, where I kept saying so many of Caitlin Clark's assists are so insane, and it's not like she can just like throw it into a Tim Duncan, throw it into a Kobe, throw it to a Shaq, throw it to a Steph Curry, where it's just easy buckets, right? I use the example that I could average an easy 5 assists a game if it's all on just shots from Steph Curry, right? I just pass the ball to Steph, and Steph does a step back 3, and it's like, all right, that's an assist for me, great. I just I just lob the ball down low to Shaq, and he dunks it. It's like, great, assist for me. That's not the story here. That's not the story. This is the story. Caitlin Clark doing like a fake step back 3, baiting the defense, and finding Boston down low.
Nye Evans, 2 bench players in there to starting the second quarter on the bench. Nye Evans, 2 bench players in there to start the quarter. Clark again, great job.
All right, passes like that. I mean, look at this pass from Caitlin Clark.
Is allowed to go left or forces her way left. She's so difficult to defend.
Her first basket, missed her first 3 shots of the game. A terrific bounce pass. Clark on the money to Boston.
I mean, that's as pretty as it gets. So let's be clear. And I'm not trying to knock Boston by no stretch of the imagination, but like, we can elevate these other players without having to try to pull down Caitlin Clark. It's really funny because a lot of people say, oh, you don't have to blow out other people's candles to praise Caitlin Clark. And now they're doing it the opposite way. They want to, turn down the light of Caitlin Clark to try to elevate other people, and you don't have to do it that way. You don't have to do it that way. Okay? I mean, at this point in the game, we could see off Caitlin Clark passes 8 for 11. 8 for 11. She's getting them easy, great looks, high percentage looks. All other field goal attempts, 6 for 19. This is what I'm trying to emphasize here. Do not get it twisted. I'm not hating on Boston, saying that she doesn't deserve credit and all of her successes because of Caitlin Clark. I'm not making that argument here. I'm really not. But it's just like, let's tell the whole truth here. And this was just at, whatever part of the, this was at this point in the game, 5 minutes left in the second quarter. You know, 5 minutes, 30-28. And when the game was all said and done, in the loss that they had, Caitlin Clark scored or assisted on over half the points. That's wild. That is wild. Someone will have to do the official math on it, because obviously some assists are threes and some of them even lead to free throws. So it's like, it's always not a perfect science. But in this game, I think she'll just be shy again of having a game with 50 plus points scored or assisted. She almost would have been able to notch 10. Her shooting was a little cold, and of course there was plenty of blown assists. Honestly, even if it was just not for some of the blown assists, she would have had another 50 plus points scored or assisted game, which would have then tied Diana Taurasi and would have done it in obviously significantly less games. But look, here's an example of when Caitlin Clark just kind of gives like an easy pass to Boston, and is just like, all right, get to work. Like, I'm not making anything easy for you. It's like, you're calling for the ball. Here you go. And look at the look she gets.
Now 9 assists this afternoon. Watch A'ja Wilson's hands as she's defending Caitlin Clark. Puts him in her face, keeps him high, keeps him active.
Boston guarded by Stokes.
Do you see the difference? Do you see the difference? Compared to passes like this, where Caitlin Clark just fires it.
With the miss, Vegas has missed 5 straight shots. Caitlin already with 3 assists and gets it over the Hall.
And there you have it. So that's why I take issue with, something that seems like kind of small, kind of nitpicking and all that. But I mean, it makes sense. It's too misleading in that regard. And don't get me wrong, like Boston, there's times that Caitlin Clark is passing it to someone like a Boston or any of these other teammates, and they're making a great play. Like, I'm not trying to reject that. I'm really not. But again, we gotta tell the whole truth here. That's like saying Caitlin Clark has scored or assisted and over half of the Indiana Fever's points, and it's really because of the Indiana Fever players, the roster around her. And it's like, I mean, I guess technically, because like they have to score, I guess, for these like assists, for them to count as assists and whatnot. But it's like, it's just not quite the story, like it's just not quite the story. So, the broadcast can always be filled with stuff like that. And, I mean, don't get me wrong, this broadcast, it's not like how it was last year, where there was like a lot of like, hey, we don't want to just talk about Caitlin Clark and whatnot. Like, they definitely have bended the knee a little bit, but there's still little things like that surface that just, I'm watching this game and it just like pops up to me and I'm like, oh, what are we saying here? And it's great, and it's an amazing chemistry that they have. But this stood out to me too, and I might make this into a separate video, but this was bizarre to me. So Caitlin Clark gets rocked here. It's typical basketball, nothing wrong with it, right? Nothing dirty, nothing like that. She gets hit to the ground pretty hard and slow to get up, and no one helps her up, and Boston doesn't help her up. Now, it's not like it's a dead ball, which is a little different, but there's still, like, Boston just looks at her and just, like, walks by her. And then Caitlin Clark gives her a beautiful pass, literally that continued possession, but just weird. Just watch. Caitlin's obviously right at the foul line. Just watch.
Short, she knew it, so she followed it up, tipped it back to Evans, and buried it.
How about
Boston
that on
looks
that
at her.
play? Chelsea Gray goes in, gets an offensive board, and
and she even she stares her down almost where if it was an opposing player, you would think, and I'm sure maybe she's like, you're all right, but like, I don't know. And it's not like they were immediately inbounding the ball and it was a fast break. Like it was going to be like an inbound now. Like you have the ability to help someone up. It's not like someone else already has the ball and they're now pushing the ball down the court. So it's like, well, yeah, Boston can't stop. She's got to get down the court. Like it's not the story here. Watch again.
/ Caitlin Clark fans in the stands. Gray, short, she knew it, so she followed it up, tipped it back to Evans, and buried it.
How about that on that play? Chelsea Gray goes in, gets an offensive board and an assist all in one motion by hitting that ball out.
And then look.
She knew pretty much after she took the shot, it was going to be short. Wilson picked up Clark, and then great patience.
And there you go. Finds Boston for another easy bucket. But yeah. It seems to me, and I'm going to talk about this. I've already talked about this if you're watching this video, because this video is going to be posting after this one for when I do my full breakdown of the game. But it seems like only Sophie really understands that the name of the game is to get the ball to Caitlin Clark and let her be the true field general. And there's just too many times that in the flow of this game that they just don't understand to get the ball to Caitlin, and it's not for her to shoot or this, that. It's like she's just the decision maker. And you can see when other people are tasked with making a decision, it gets a little weird. So, but I'll talk about that in the next video that I make. And if you're watching this, it's already been posted, so definitely please check that out. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about Caitlin Clark's assists and how, you know, a big reason for, I guess, her leading the WNBA in assists is because of Boston? That's what they said on ESPN. Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. It's whether you agree with me or disagree with me. Either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.